Hi guys, Toni here from Toni Reviews. Today we're going to take a look at the Heidenau K60 tyre. Okay, so this is a controversial and a complex subject, and I know I'm going to get ripped by a few people for saying, why are you fitting a dual sport tyre on a road bike, you ride in London, blah blah blah, you know, all that business. So there's going to be a lot of that out there, and why would you? So we've got to sort of work our way through all of these factors, and then you guys can sort of see why I've made my decision and whether or not, you know, it's something that suits you. So let's get into it. Okay, so with this review, I'm not going to go into the detail about looking on the construction of the actual tyre, the compounds used and this, that and the other. I mean, if anyone's interested, all that information's out there and you can go and see that on Heidenau's website and whatever else. Like with all my reviews, I like to give an honest, real person's real life experience review on the tyre or the product, whatever it is we're looking at. And hopefully you can make a more informed choice based on my experiences. So let's get into it. So the K60 Scout by Heidenau, which is a German company. I know I said we wouldn't get into it, but there you go. They are a dual sport tyre, which basically means you can use it on and off road, and it's meant to have like a 50-50 shift, well 50-50 split, sorry, which basically means you can use it on and off road equal amount of time. Me personally, I'm not using my bike off road. I do my normal commute on my bike, I take it on trips, short little blasts out over the weekend, so it's mostly motorway miles and you know, sort of A and B road, country lane type stuff. So no, I don't make full use of the dual sport aspect of those tyres. The reason I fitted those tyres to my bike is purely for the look, for the overall look that I'm trying to achieve with my bike, and that is that sort of urban street scrambler, Mad Max aggressive sort of styling, you know, that sort of beastie look rather than that sort of like classic little I'm going to the cafe. I want it to be a bit like, yeah, well I might go for a jaunt off road, but even though I'm not, but that's the look I'm going for. But I like the idea that if I wanted to, I could. Right, let's talk about the wear and tear. So I fitted my Heidenau's on my bike and I got about 8,000 miles out of them before I changed them. And I changed them for a couple of reasons, and I'll tell you why. They still had more giving them. The first thing was I was going off on my Spain trip. 8,000 miles on the tyres at that point, I didn't want to push it because I knew they were a dual sport tyre. They've not got as much road use out as normal bikes, tyres, road tyres, and I'd read that they probably get about 6,000, and I thought, well, I've already got 8, and they did have more wear in them, but I thought, you know what, I'm going on this trip, let's change them. The second reason I changed them was I noticed on the front wheel, on the front tyre, within the bobbles, there was a few little cracks. And I started researching, and I'd found somebody else had written a review basically saying that they had also had some cracks appearing on the bobbles on their front tyre, and that one of the bobbles ripped clean off and they got a puncture, but luckily they weren't doing a high speed, and you know, but it really sort of shook them and it put them off putting those tyres on again. And had anyone else experienced that? Now, that was the only case that I'd found, but like I said, I had cracks in my front bobbles too. Very small, but it did make me think, oh bloody hell, especially when I said I was going off to Spain. So like I said, okay, the third reason I changed the tyres was because at the time, at 8,000 miles, I was getting so much road noise, so much noise coming from the tyres, I actually thought I had a wheel bearing gone. And I jacked the bike up and I'm giving it all this and there's no movement. And I'm thinking, it's got to be a bearing, because that noise, that whining noise is a bearing noise. So I even rung Triumph at one point thinking, oh, it's a bloody bearing. But it wasn't. I mean, I changed the tyres because I was going away. And as soon as I changed those tyres, that noise disappeared. So be prepared, if you are going to use these tyres, that you are going to get more road noise than you would from a standard road tyre anyway, just because of the nature of it being a dual sport tyre and those bubbles hitting the floor. Okay, so let's talk about handling. So why would you put a set of dual sport tyres or knobbly tyres on your bike if it's going to diminish the handling so much that you actually can't get the performance out of it, or it makes you a little bit tentative to ride it? There's no point. I've got to say, when I first got my Street Twin and it had them Pirelli Phantoms on it, I think they are, I really didn't get on with those tyres. I really didn't like them. I don't know about you guys, but for me, I didn't enjoy riding the bike with those tyres on. When I changed over to the Heidenau's, first off, the little bit of bobbliness, you know, sort of road noise, vibration that you get, and those bubbles, it didn't inspire me with confidence. And I've got to say, I took it a little bit easier to start with just because I wasn't sure. But for me, and let me sort of hopefully give this confidence to you, is that once I started to push that bike a little bit more and give a little bit more trust in those tyres and think they are going to be able to do what I'm asking them to do, and then you see that they respond back with that they can do it, that's what you want from a tyre. And I've got to say, I have pushed those tyres. I mean, there was an incident a few weeks back where I was on, you know, a little jaunt out, and I'd come into a bend and I really pushed it, you know, I really pushed it into this corner, so much so that my foot peg actually, the bobble off the end of my foot peg actually scraped the floor. Now, I measured the foot peg just now and it's 1.5 centimetres. So I was 1.5 centimetres off the floor from the foot peg, and yet those tyres took it. I have had incidents though in the rain and in the wet, and I must say I'm not as confident with those tyres in the wet. There was an incident when I was riding in France and I was going across a bridge, and the bridge had multiple segments and each segment was sort of jutted by a metal partition, so there was like metal strips along the bridge. And it was raining, and as I came up over the bridge, the front wheel skipped a little bit. I mean, I can't say whether it would have happened on another bike, on another set of tyres or whatever else, but in those conditions, on those tyres, that's what happened. So like I said, all I can do is give you my experience. My personal opinion overall on the tyres is that I absolutely love them. Styling wise, I think they're fantastic. In the sun, in dry conditions, I think they're fantastic. In wet conditions, whatever bike I'm riding, I always take it easier. And I do probably take it a little bit more easier on those tyres just because of that incident I had on the bridge with the metal strip. So I'll leave you guys to make your mind up about that, about how you feel about it. But for me, that's my second set of Heidenau's, and I absolutely love them. And until I read a review or see something of another review that comes out about another set of knobbly dual sport tyres, then I might think about changing. But for now, for me, I think the Heidenau's do a really good job. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that review. It's, like I said, with all my reviews, it's an honest review based on my experiences. You guys might have different experiences. Like I said, the first set I had about 8,000 miles on them, or just over, and the second set I've now got about 3,000 miles on them. It is all road use, like I said, in a variety of conditions: motorways, country roads, you know, long journeys, small jaunts. I've done it all on those tyres, and I would say for me, I think they're a great tyre. You guys make up your own opinions. Like I said, there are a few factors in there that might sway you against them. Let me know your experiences, and I hope it helped, and it will help you make up your mind if you're thinking about the Heidenau K60 Scout tyre. So I hope you liked the video. Subscribe to the channel, there's more videos coming up. Safe riding when we get out of Coronaville, and I'll see you all soon.